Last season, when the Red Sox and Phillies met, it was considered to be a World Series preview. This year, things are much different, as both teams have struggled with injuries and have struggled to get out of last place in their respective divisions. Hey everybody, it's Paulie. Welcome back to This Week in Red, where we're talking all things Red Sox and Major League Baseball. So as the Red Sox and Phillies get ready to meet for 3 games this weekend at Citizens Bank Park, the questions will still abound around both teams, as both have been very disappointing in 2012. Both of them have hovered around last place, if not been in last place for most of the season, hovering around that 500 mark, a game over, a game or two under 500, depending on what day you pick up the newspaper. And even though they're in the same boat, they've arrived at the same place in different ways. You know, for the Phillies, their main problem has been their lineup. They sorely missed their 2 best hitters, Ryan Howard, who is still recovering from that torn Achilles tendon in the NLDS last season against Milwaukee, and Chase Utley, their star second baseman, who struggled most of the last 2 seasons with an injured knee. Neither of them has played a game this year for the Phillies, and it has shown. Phillies are at the bottom of the National League in runs scored, and they really haven't been able to support their pitching staff, which has been pretty good for most of the season. You know, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, even though he's missed some time with injury, and Cole Hamels, and even Joe Blanton in that number 4 spot have really provided some solid pitching for the Phillies. And so any success that they have had this season has been due almost exclusively to their pitching. Jonathan Papelbon has made a pretty smooth transition from Boston to Philly as the new closer. So the Phillies have pitched well, but they can't score any runs. For the Red Sox, it's kind of the opposite. Their lineup's been pretty consistent. They've had some bouts of inconsistency here and there, but for the most part, they've scored enough runs. They're second in the league in runs scored in the AL. But it's up until recently, it's been their starting pitching that's been the big concern. Up until the last homestand, where they won 5 of 6 and finally got things turned around at Fenway, their starting pitching was terrible. But the last time through the rotation, each of their 5 starters had a quality start. And as I mentioned, the result was a 5-1 homestand, so it looks like they've finally gotten their Fenway woes turned around, which is a good sign if you're a Red Sox fan. And as far as what we'll find out about both teams this weekend, well, I'm not really sure, because neither of them are at full strength. In fact, it's the Red Sox weakness, the starting pitching, against the Phillies weakness, their lineup. And so whichever of those weaknesses is a little bit more improved this weekend will probably mean that team does better against the other in the 3 games this weekend. So I don't know how much we're going to learn about these 3 teams, but you can bet one thing: they're both going to use this series as a measuring stick no matter who's in the lineup, because they know that each is a quality team, and if they can win 2 out of 3 or sweep the series, it'll give them some good, positive momentum for the rest of the season. But for you guys, we know these 2 teams have been 2 of the most disappointing in baseball. The question is, which one has been even more disappointing? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and tell all your friends about This Week in Red.